Hi everybody! Today I'm going to show you how to use another one of Google Apps. This one is called Google Books. And this year, instead of keeping track of all the books that you're reading on a paper log, you will actually be using your laptops to keep track of them on Google Books. So what I would like you to do today is I'd like you to first go to Google. And if you're not signed into your school account, that's what I'd like you to do. So right now I'm not signed in. I need to go and sign in. And I need to make sure that it's not my personal account. It's my school issued Gmail. Let me enter that. And it's going to bring me back to the main page. Now, this right here is going to be your Google Apps toolbar. And if you don't see Google Books there, which you probably won't since you haven't used it, you're going to click under the More button. And it's going to bring you to a list of all the apps that Google offers. Now, there might be some things in here that look really great, but today we're going to work on Google Books. So, this right here is my library. It tells me some of the books that might be recommended for me. It will tell me some of the classic books. Just gives me a little bit, it even has magazines. Look at that. Poetry. You can choose any of those categories. But what we're going to do is this is where you are going to store the books that you've read, right over here in my library on the left-hand side. So it allows you to choose your favorites, books that you're reading right now, books that you want to read, and books that you've already read. And so I'm going to click on Have Read. And this is my library here. It's actually public. Anybody can go to my library to see this. So if you wanted to check on what I was reading and make sure I was keeping up with my reading as well, you could go to this list. These are just a few of the books that I've read over the summer or are a few of my favorites, the ones that I could really think of off the top of my head when I was creating my library. And so the Reading Promise, for example, is one that we will be reading together as a class at the beginning of the year. And so what I would like you to do is think of a book that you have just finished reading or that you're reading right now. What's that book? Maybe it's The Giver. And so I'm going to go up here to my search bar, and I'm going to type in The Giver and search. And there it is. It's by Lois Lowry. It brings up a couple different options. It also brings up like the guide for me as a teacher. I have this guide in my classroom for when I teach it, and I could help and add that to my list. But what I'm going to do is click up here on the one that says The Giver, and it says books.google.com. And this brings me and shows me the cover, but it also shows me a little preview as it loads of the book. So I can actually start reading this and see, is it an okay book for me to read? Is it too hard? Is it just right? Does this sound like something I would be interested in? Am I hooked just by reading the first couple pages? This is a great tool. Now, every book may not have this, but most of them do. This is like a little short preview. It won't have the whole book, but you can check it out. Now what we're going to do is you're going to add this to your library. So right here, add to my library. The Giver is a book that I have read. Maybe you'll add it to your to-read list, or maybe you're reading it right now, or maybe it actually becomes one of your favorites. So I've read it. And now your assignment for 2 books every quarter is to write a review. And so if you read The Giver, you could type it into your search, come back, add it to your library, and then you're going to write a review on it. Now this would probably be a good thing to do as soon as you've finished the book, just for a couple of them that you've read. Of course you can do more than 2, but 2 is the minimum that you need to do each quarter. And so The Giver, this gives me a little summary about what the book is about, but my review is going to be more about my thoughts. What did I like about the book? What did I not like about the book? Who was my favorite character? And why? The why piece is really the biggest part for me. This is a review that some of your classmates might come back to read, and that might be the review that really hooks them in and says, hey, I could read that book too. And so when you're done, you're going to want to make sure you press save, because if you don't press save, it won't save it into your review, and that's one of your assignments that you'll need to do. Okay, so we will go back. I'm not going to write the review right now. We'll go back to our books, and you can always click on this red books right here, and it will bring you back to your library. And so my favorites. Right now, a couple of my favorites are The Outsiders which we'll also be reading in class. And again, the reading promise, the last lecture, house rules. These are just 4 of the books that I just thought of off the top of my head. So what are some of your favorite books? And so for tonight's homework assignment, what I would like you to do is I'd like you to choose your favorite 3 books that you have ever read, and I would like you to search for them right up here in the toolbar, and then you're going to add them to your library. You're going to add them to your favorites. Now don't forget, you can also add them to your have read list, but this have read list is going to be more of books that you are reading this year. I want to know, how many books will you read over the course of 7th and 8th grade? How many books is your goal? What are you going to work towards? So, homework tonight, add 3 of your favorite books to your library list. Have fun!